Welcome to Midlife Women Entrepreneurs, where you'll find real stories, practical strategies, and the mindset shifts you need for entrepreneurship. If you've ever felt like midlife was too late to launch a business, write a book, or chase a dream, think again. I'm Lynette Turner, your host, and I'm bringing you inspiring conversations and practical tips to help nudge you forward and keep growing in midlife. So let's jump in. Well, I have with me today Anisa Crespo. Anisa, you and I met through the podcast, and I'm super excited to have you here today. You are the epitome of a woman that leaves a corporate career behind and gets following her purpose and building an online business. So I'm going to hand the floor over to you. Give us a bit of a background and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to share a little bit about my journey with your audience today. So I started my journey into entrepreneurship in 2020 when my twins were born. It was COVID. Things were weird. I had a great job at the time, my corporate career, but it was like, I guess I better figure out how to bring in some money online because I don't know when I'm leaving the house again. So that's when I kind of dove into digital marketing, network marketing, affiliate marketing, all different types of ways to bring in money online, and really began my entrepreneurship career in side hustles. So for the next 4 years after that, I still kept my corporate job while I was doing business on the side and just starting to grow an audience. I dove into real estate investing, and my husband and I moved from New Jersey to Florida in 2022. We had a real estate investing company at that time, and we were doing well with it, but it wasn't in alignment. My cup wasn't being filled. And the same thing was happening at my job because I have been in a male dominated industry for over 10 years. Every box that you could want to tick when it comes to being a successful career woman in corporate America, I ticked them all. I had the 6-figure job, the flexibility, work from home, seniority, great boss, great colleagues, like all the things. But at the end of the day, again, my cup was not being fulfilled. And at this time, I had this spiritual awakening after a series of events where my daughter had asked us, how come I don't love her anymore because I'm putting in 18-hour days trying to balance everything. I was diagnosed with melanoma, so it's treatable. I'm healthy, but it put my mortality into perspective and made me realize what's truly important, which is my time. So that pivotal moment, those things really led me to say, I'm only going to do things that make me happy from now on. I'm not just going to do things that make me money. I know how to make money, whether that's in corporate America, in real estate, or in side hustles. I'm going to do things that make me happy and then let the money be the byproduct of following my mission and the reason why I'm doing things. So overcoming so much trauma in my life, I have to help women. I was like, I have to help women. I didn't know how I was going to do that or what I was going to do. But what I have found out is the how is none of my business. The why is what's important. And the why was, I had experiences that could help women, and this is my mission to carry out. So the next thing I knew, I was quitting my 6-figure job. I was starting a business. I met my business partner a little over a year ago, and we went from a startup company last year to now doing consistent 6-figure months. And we get to share with other women exactly how we took steps, what we did to get visible, to get seen, to get heard, to get remembered. And we have our coaching containers and we have our programs. We have our TV show, our books, our magazine, our podcast, all the things. And now it's like the money has come, but my soul is happy and my cup is finally full.
Amazing. Okay, there's so much there that I want to talk to you about. Let's first talk about filling the cup. You talked about a bit of health issues and things in the past, and that's when you just decided it's not filling my cup. But how did you get the courage to leave that 6-figure job? Because I think at the end of the day, that's what golden handcuffs us. And especially in midlife when, you could probably pretty close to retirement, you have that pension and that stuff that sits in the back of your mind. It takes a lot of courage to say, you know what, I'm going to hang it up and go after what's going to fulfill me versus after the money.
Yeah, absolutely. I got called a lot of things when I told people that I was quitting my 6-figure job of 10 years. Smart was not one of them, but it's all good because now, like I said, we're doing 6-figure months. And that's really what it was. The courage came from the belief in myself. I know what kind of a work ethic I have. I had seen what I was doing in the company that I was working for. If I could do this to build somebody else's dreams, why not do it for myself? And if I had stayed at that company, which don't get me wrong, it was a phenomenal company. I was treated very well. It wasn't like I left some toxic environment. But the point is, if I had stayed at that company for the next 20 or 30 years, I would never get past six figures and probably maybe not even multiple six figures. And now we've done, incredible things where I'm like, well, I'm worth six figures a day. Like, I don't want to have a cap on my revenue. And I have a mission in this world. I just don't want to be in a job where I'm coming in, clocking in, doing tasky things, and then leaving. And like, it just felt like there's got to be more to life than this. And I have found that there is so much more.
Yeah. So in your introduction, you shared your daughter's words, right? How come you don't love us anymore? How did that impact you in terms of your sense of identity, both as a mother and an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it hit home for me because it was like I was trying to keep up all the things, like wearing all the hats as most women typically do, especially mothers, having a job, a very demanding job, having a business on the side hustles, having a husband and children and friends and family and the home to upkeep and all of these different things. And it was like, when is it time for me? So her saying that to me made me realize like I want to be present not only for my children and their lives, but I also want to be present for myself. And I really went through so much transformation. I mean, I start my day now and it's all about me. I'm praying, meditating, gratitude practice, listening to podcasts and women who are doing amazing things that I would like to achieve one day. I am eating healthy, working out, taking a walk, getting sunshine before I even get to my desk. And it's really made me realize that, you can have it all. And when she said that to me, it was like, okay, I need to do something where I don't have to ask permission to take time off. I don't have to check in if I have a sick child and say, oh, can I take them to the doctor? If I want to take a vacation, I can. I'm literally leaving on Tuesday for a 40-day road trip with my husband and children all across America. We're going to hit over 20 states. We're seeing all different landmarks. I'm attending events, meeting high caliber women, speaking on stages. And it's because I chose me when my daughter said that to me.
Yeah, sort of serendipitous to really give you that little wake up call. And I think that everybody needs a little bit of a wake up call. There's always some sort of event, I think, in midlife that causes you to, probably have to reevaluate where you're at. And so when you think about the beliefs that you had before your businesses, what do you think you shed to become this version of yourself? And I ask that because I think that a lot of midlife women we've all brought stories from our childhood or our adulthood or whatever, but I think there's always something that we have to shed before we can become a version like you just became.
Yeah, 100%. And it's breaking those generational curses. So I was raised by a single mother and she did the very best she could with us. But, money was always a struggle. So I had to reframe my mindset about money from scarcity to abundance. That was a huge piece of it. And it's something I continue to do every single day. Mindset work and personal development is a big part of who I am as a woman. And, in addition to that, my mother always taught me like, go to school, get a job, climb the corporate ladder, live happily ever after. So I did all those things. And it was like, okay, well, this is not happily ever after to me. So I will never teach my children to go to school, get a job. I will teach them how to start a business, how to scale a business, how to invest in real estate, how to sell to people in a way that feels good. And once they have those skill sets, they can do anything they want. They could even go to college if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's all about, taking the things that we were taught, rethinking and reframing them. Like this was what was aligned for the generations before me. But does this make the most sense for me? I mean, we are in a revolution right now, post COVID, where women are able to start and conduct business like they have never been able to do before. There was no opportunity to have an online business with clients all over the world in the 80s, So
Yeah.
I'm here to take those opportunities and create those opportunities.
Amazing. So you had mentioned just earlier that during your six-figure job, you were working on some side hustles. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So how I'm always curious, like, how do people find the side hustle that's going to work for them?
So for me, it's just I was doing a lot of different like network marketing, MLM type of things. And I was doing some digital marketing, affiliate marketing. And what I ultimately realized is that if I was going to be, I was, successful to a point, like everything is what you put into it is what you get out of it. So I came to the realization that if I was going to be wildly successful at any one of these things, I was going to have to let the rest of them go and only focus on one thing because when you're chasing multiple rabbits, you're never going to catch any of them.
Right.
So at that point, I had just met my business partner. She was also doing multiple different things at the time. And we came together and we said, we don't want to sell other people's products anymore. We want to create something of our own and have our own services, products, and not have to worry about, is this in alignment for me? Because it's something that we created. So that's really what it's all about is feeling like, does this at the end of the day make me happy? Or does it feel like a job? Because if it feels like a job, you could just go get a corporate job and make
Exactly.
decent money.
All right, let's jump into the business side of it. You have the $1 Million Mom Society, and that started for everybody that's listening as a dormant Facebook group. So what mindset shift did you need to see it maybe not as a failure, but as this seed, I guess, waiting to bloom?
Yeah, so I started the group in 2020 when I had first, jumped into entrepreneurship and it had about 200 people in it for 4 years and completely dead. Mostly my friends and family, they're not
Yeah.
buying anything. So, when I decided to leave my job, I was like there has to be something here with this community. I want to have a community where women can come, be seen, heard, feel supported, and grow a business inside of my community. So I got laser focused on the group. Within 3 months, we grew it from 200 to 5,000 completely organically. Then we
Wow.
started running some low cost ads to the group to help it grow. And now we're at about 16,000 women inside that group. It's just a testament to what happens when you say, you know what? Everybody else is saying Facebook groups are dead. I didn't believe that. I said there's got to be a way. So I went
Right.
and I found it. And there's absolutely a way. And that was the very first coaching container that we offered. It was our Facebook group growth accelerator showing women how to grow and monetize Facebook.
Yeah. And that's great because you did it yourself. And I think that's a lot of the businesses that start in this day and age are because you fixed a problem for yourself first and then now you're teaching it. And I also think that you don't need to have this like huge edge. You grew it from 200 to 5,000, you said quite passively or organically. Is that a free Facebook group?
Yeah, the Facebook group is free to join.
Okay. And then inside of there, you can learn more about the $1 Million Mom coaching program.
Yeah. So right now, through the end of the year, we have what we call the Society, which is a mastermind. It's $111 month to month. And you can come and go as you please. And every single week, we do either hot seat coaching for the women in there, or we have a guest speaker sharing their expertise in their field with the community. So that's a really supportive space. Women are collaborating in there. They're doing business together. It's amazing. We're really proud of it. And then we have what we call the Elite Society, which is more of our high touch coaching. So there's still the group coaching available, but there's also some opportunity for one-on-one as well.
Okay. And so now, is it only just related to helping women grow their Facebook group, or is it to just in general for business now?
No, this is a holistic approach to becoming
Okay.
a successful woman. So we don't believe that it's just business strategy. So we're talking energetics, we're talking mindset, manifestation, health and wellness, spirituality, motherhood, all things that compile a successful woman.
Yeah, that's great. So on our pre-call, you said that you never create an offer until somebody buys it. So pretty bold statement, but I've heard a lot of online gurus say the same thing. What fears do you come up with when you first tried that approach? And then how do you push past them? Because I think a lot of people would think, oh my God, you mean I would sell something before it's even like built?
Yeah. So overcoming the fear is the actual strategy. So it's the fear of I create something and then nobody buys it, right? But if I put an offer out there and nobody buys it and I haven't built it yet, I haven't invested any time, effort, energy, or money into it. So it's like I'll just move on to the next thing. So what we like to do is we like to do real time market research, ask our community, what do you need right now? what could you really use help with in your business right now? And from that, we create offers. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I have a personal trainer and we were on a call and he knows that we do visibility and marketing. So he asked me, "Do you have some sort of a package where I could get visible and, share your audience where you're promoting my coaching program to your audience?" And at the time I did not, but I said, "Yes, we do. It's called the visibility package." And now we have sold that over and over and over again. So it's just creating a need to solve a problem for somebody. He had a problem, I could solve it right then and there, and we created an offer from it.
Yeah, no,
Sometimes I'll get these like downloads in the middle of the night at like 3 o'clock when I can't sleep, and I'll like, "Oh, this is a great offer." I'll go and I'll ask my community the next day, who wants to jump into this? If I get 3 people that say they want to jump into us, now I'm creating the offer.
right. And so you're really leveraging this Facebook group community, which is amazing. What is one small thing that a woman could do, even this week, to begin to discover her own irresistible offer?
So we have something that's called the Irresistible Offer Accelerator, where we show you how to create offer suites from low to mid to high ticket. And the very first step in that is figuring out who your avatar is. It's usually, I'll give you a hint, if you don't know who it is, and if you don't know what an avatar is, this is your ideal client. It's usually a former version of yourself that you have gone through some sort of a transformation. And now you can show other women who are where you used to be how to get where you are because you know how to get there because you've done it. So that would be something that I would suggest if you are thinking about creating an offer and you have no idea where to start. Well, the first thing is get into the society because we'll help you create that offer. But the second thing is just absolutely think about whose problems can I solve because I've been there already. And I just want to add to this. A lot of people think you have to be some expert or you need all these certifications or the letters behind your name. You don't need any of that. You need to be one step ahead of somebody to teach them.
Yeah, I think the term I've heard is like just the 10% edge, but I'm going to add on to that where it's easy to say that, right? But it's hard. Like it's going to require vulnerability. Like especially when you talk about, well, even your background, you've lost a bunch of weight, you've quit drinking. You've got this morning routine now that you mentioned earlier that you're transforming your life. And so how does somebody even share that part of their journey? Because I think in midlife, we are going through our own personal transformations, but it can feel vulnerable to share that.
So here's the thing about sharing personal things. You don't have to. You don't have to share your personal stories or you can share a certain depth of them. You don't have to talk about everything. I am an open book. Anybody can ask me anything. I've been through a lot of trauma and have overcome it. So I like to use that to turn my pain into purpose to help the next woman. The way I found, because I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always just an open book sharing everything about myself. But what I found was I would start to share like bits and pieces on social media and women would slide into my DMs and say, "Thank you. I don't comment or post on social media, especially about this topic, that you have just inspired me or you have just helped me or you got me through something." And that was happening quite a bit. And the more I shared, the more of those DMs I got. So I knew that for me, by sharing, I was helping people. And that's my mission, obviously, to help as many women as I can. But the other thing is, for women who are not ready to share, you don't have to. You don't have to be vulnerable. You can share as little or as much as you want.
Yeah. And what would be the first start on that would make you feel safe, but also create that vulnerability that people are actually craving, that authenticity that people are actually craving? They don't want, all polished and perfect, they want to know that you're relatable and that you're going through very similar things as them.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is confidence, and people talk a lot about, I don't have the confidence and everything. And you don't need the confidence to start. You need the courage. So the
Hmm.
courage will lead to confidence. The more you do something over and over again, the better you will get at it. It's like playing a sport or an instrument or anything like that. The more you practice, practice makes progress. And then once you have that confidence, so courage leads to confidence leads to clarity. So you could just
Hmm.
make one post on social media and ask a question, ask an engaging question, and say, can anyone relate to this? This is what I'm experiencing right now, or this is what I've gone through, or what I'm feeling. And all of a sudden, you're going to get 10, 20, 50 people that are going through the same thing. And now you have the confidence to make your next post because you're seeing that I'm not alone in this and we can actually have a conversation about this.
And so inside of the Million Dollar Mom Society, all of that's happening. You're guiding people through, you talked earlier about having a very strong spiritual practice, being a self-leader, all of that's happening inside of your program.
Yes.
Yeah. And is there one person that stands out as like a pretty fabulous story that came from your program?
Yes. Yes. One of our first clients, her name is Brianna. And when she first signed on to Facebook Accelerator, she was doing affiliate marketing for somebody else. And she just wanted help to grow a Facebook group so that she could do her affiliate marketing. And when Natasha and I signed her as a client, we saw such crazy potential in her. And we were like, she's going to be having her own programs and offers and clients. And she did. Several months later, she actually reached out to us in the DMs, and I have a screenshot of it. It's actually on the website as one of our testimonials. And it says something like, I just signed my first high ticket client using your method of not creating the offer until I sold it.
Wow.
So that right there, success story.
I love that. So when you and I were on our pre-call, you were talking about a docuseries that was going to start to formulate. It sort of sounds like that's come to fruition.
Yes, I manifested this docuseries.
Okay.
So the TV show started as an Instagram ad. I saw an ad to be on a TV show called Legacy Makers, and my imposter syndrome was raging at the time. And I was like, who are you to apply to be on a TV show? You know, tens of thousands of people apply for this. Only 1% get chosen. Like, you'll never be chosen. But I hushed up that voice very quickly because I always like to ask myself, what is the best that could happen? You know, women get so caught up in, oh my God, the fear, what's the worst that could happen? No, what is the best that could happen? And I didn't even know by signing up for that show what the best was, because not only were we selected to be on the show, we went to record for the show. That show is live on TV now. You can find it on Apple, Amazon, all the things. But the producers loved it so much. Our mission, our brand, the way we're helping moms in business, they reached back out to us and said, would you consider having your own docuseries? So naturally, we were like, yes, where do we sign? And the rest is history. So I actually say, when you watch the episode of Legacy Makers that was recorded in January of this year, I say on it, we are going to be doing a live event in the fall. Now, at that time, we had no idea what the event was going to be, no idea about any of the details. We just knew it was something we wanted to do. And when we speak something into existence, so it is. So we decided, let's do this live event in the fall. Let's make it a very luxurious mastermind style retreat and film it for our docuseries and give women a chance to speak on our stage and get their brand out into the world via media and our TV show that will be broadcast to 1 billion people. Yeah. So that is how the $1 Million Room was born.
Okay. Congratulations. That sounds amazing. Who would have thought, 5 years ago, you were sitting there thinking, oh my God, I can't be in this corporate life. My daughter's telling me, Mom, do you love us because you don't spend any time with us, and to this. So dreams can happen. And I want to reflect a little bit. This podcast is meant to be a room where women can borrow beliefs before they can become it themselves. And so that's one thing my question for you is like, what was a belief that you had to borrow before it became your own? And then how did it change your life?
So can I. If she can, why can't I? And a lot of times we see these successful people, whether it's on TV or in movies or social media, and we tell ourselves, like, that could never be me. But that is a limiting belief. And I am living proof of it. And I am here to inspire and influence as many women as possible that if you have a dream, if you have something that is on your heart, go after it. Go after it, because what is the best that could happen? Natasha and I, we came together, within 1 year, have massive success, but we were both entrepreneurs on our own for several years before that, before we came together. And we did a lot of failing forward. So don't be afraid to take the risk, because no risk, no reward.
Yeah. And just get started. So many people struggle with, I don't know what the offer is. And I know you do that in your group. And I think everybody needs a mentor of some sort. And I think your group, I think you've really created a nice place where people can go and sort of pick and draw on at different stages of their journey, which is amazing. So one last closing reflection. If there was one woman listening right now and she's, I don't know, folding the laundry or driving to work or whatever, what do you want her to hear from you?
Whether you think you can or whether you think you cannot, you are correct. I believe
Mhm.
that our beliefs, especially our beliefs within ourselves, shape our destinies. So go for it. Shoot your shot.
Yeah, no, that's great. Okay, where do people find you?
You can find me. I'm on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, but my primary platform is Facebook. So you can always shoot me a DM, Anisa Crespo, or you can go to our website, which is milliondollarmom.org. And that's where you can find all the things. And I would love to hear from your audience and connect with them.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here today. I think you're truly inspiring. So I'm super happy that we connected, and thank you for sharing all of the valuable insights on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it's Lynette. Thanks for listening today. Please like and subscribe. And if there's somebody out there that you think could benefit from the episode, give it a share. Midlife is your time, so go get it.